Hello, creatives. Ruth Ann Reed here to help you get out of block and into a daily habit of creation. Today, we're talking about expectations. Expectations come from two places: you and everybody else. The only ones you can control are yours, so we'll get to that in a minute. Other people will have expectations for your art, for your stories. Sometimes those are good expectations because you're able to fulfill them whether or not you're trying to, and that's a really satisfying thing if you write what they wanted to read or you draw what they wanted to see. But often those expectations go unmet, and that is not your fault. You need to understand that artistic expectations exist, they're there, but they are not a judgment of what is good or bad about your creation. Everybody has different taste. Some people love chocolate, some people hate it. Some people love Brussels sprouts, and some people hate them. If you are writing something that is heavily citrus flavored, and the people who are reading it don't like citrus, it doesn't matter how good it is, they're going to be disappointed. And that is not your fault. That's just the way it works in a world with different flavors. The expectations that you can control are yours, and these are the ones that actually trip you up. These are the ones that demand you produce more than you could possibly produce, that demand that you are more popular than you could ever be, that ask you, why didn't you start doing whatever your medium is when you were 8 years old and then go to school for it and somehow do all the brilliant things that other people have done? And the expectations you hold up for yourself can be absolutely terrible. Most of the time, because they're impossible. Why? Because they keep moving. What you actually want with these expectations is a sense of achievement, of pride, of knowing that what you made is good and you can be pleased with it, and knowing that you can consistently make more things. That's fantastic. But somehow that gets brewed into something that has nothing to do with you and your life. Why aren't you producing faster? I don't know, you have a job, family, things to do that validly take up your time. Why didn't you start younger? You didn't know, or you were pressured by the adults in your life. There are a million reasons that you had not to start younger, and they were valid at the time. Why am I not just better at this, like insert name here? Friend, that is jealousy, and all that is ever going to do is stab you in the back. No matter how good you are, there will be somebody that you perceive as further down that path. So if you are comparing yourself to other people, you're never going to make it. You're never going to reach that bar, and it will just do you harm. No comparisons. Everyone is in a completely different path. We all have different choices, different struggles, different things that we face, so you cannot compare yourself to anyone else. We're back to that thing of rose bushes and trees. They are different, they grow at different rates, they produce different things, and they are both very good. But you can't put them directly up against one another. They're different. Creative, it's very likely that nobody's challenged you to really look at your expectations and actually shape them. Instead, they just give you something like, you should be producing 2 books a year or else, or you should be exhibiting your stuff at this convention or else. A realistic expectation is that you have taken enough control of your time to start creating regularly. A realistic expectation is that as you work at it, you're going to get better because that's the nature of humans who practice things. A realistic expectation is that if you don't learn to push aside those external pressures, you may never feel happy with what you make. Listen, I am not a fast writer. I never have been. And I've been published since 2012, but I'm only just coming out with my next novella, so that makes 7. That's not a lot, but I'm really proud of them. I finished those with all of the health problems I have, with moving numerous times, with death in the family, with all kinds of stuff going on, and I still managed to write. My expectation is not produce 6 books a year or you'll never be a bestseller, because I don't have that kind of time. But what I do have is the time to write every day. What I do have is the time to read before bed, to take in good words and good art and get inspired. What I do have is the time to sit down with you, because I've been blocked and got out of it, and I want you out of block too, and so we can walk ourselves through this and get past it. Creative, lowering expectations does not mean that you're lowering your taste or your standards. It just means you're setting yourself a bar that you can step over. So the external expectations, there's not a lot you can do about that. That's other people's journey to go through. But your expectations, you can fight and control. So your homework, take a look at your expectations for yourself. In what way can you tweak them to make them realistic for your life and all the pressures that you're under while still moving forward? I look forward to seeing what you figure out. Let's cross those expectations together. Sit down with me now and let's make something new. Thanks so much for watching. I do these videos every single day to help other creatives get out of block and into a daily habit of creativity. If they help you at all, feel free to jump into my Patreon to say thanks. It's where I share all my works in progress, all of my writings, short stories, novels, all of that stuff. And in the meantime, I hope you keep creating. I'll see you on the written page.